our culture, leadership style, and way of life. People that used to stay in the village, when they come to city, the villagers are expecting them to go back home with something. Believe you me, if you stay in Lagos for 10 years and you go back to the village without a car, the people in the village will be wondering. So this is Lagos. So to some extent, our culture, our deviation from the cultural norms and values we had initially, we have derailed from those ones. What we are looking at now is, what can you offer? What do you have? What can I give from him? As fast as possible, you can make it. They say the man just hit. He just hammer. So if this young man will be given 50,000 naira, and this may be the highest amount of money they have ever seen in their lives, to go and bump. I think during one of the interviews, one of the young people that were caught during the raid, they asked him, how much were you given? He said 7,000 naira to go and put the bomb in one of the places.
Yes.
7,000. So that will tell you the level of poverty. In some states in this country, you will see poverty walking on the street. Poverty, sir, walking on the street. So that shows that if these individuals are given proper or adequate care, provide the social amenity they need, accommodation, let there be a standard system, our academic programs and all that are in place. School fees are not case. I believe that most of this will die down naturally. Why should I go and put a bomb if I am to be paid 7,000 naira, while I know that, one, I have a bright future, to some extent, I'm hoping to get 10, 15,000 naira, 20,000 naira monthly. Why should I use 7,000 or 2,000 to go and bomb? Apart from those who have been psychologically brainwashed to believe that it's a form of service
to God, as
yes,
you said.
But still, to some extent, it's poor leadership. Because life does not have a vacuum. If you don't train them, someone else will.
Okay. Wow. Brilliant. With the peculiar security challenges in the state, it's obvious that the structure of the police is no longer fashionable and cannot, nip in the bud the wave of crime, terrorism. So do you still think we should change the system of government? I still want, because for example, we have other state functions. We have state projects like LASMA in Lagos. We have the LOMA, the environmental cleanup and all that. These initiatives have actually helped. Even the judiciary, we have the state at state levels of judiciary, and so far they've thrived. So what do you think? Do we have to change our security system, break it down? Because it almost looks like our Nigerian police force is not very fashionable. Kaduna recently was almost taken to a state of emergency, which means a military administrator will be brought in and the governor taken out for indefinite timeline. So what do you think? Should the system be changed, sir?
Are we ready to change the system? That should be the question. Yes, there is a definite need to look again at the way we have been doing policing. This is the 21st century, I keep saying this. I have had the opportunity of staying close to those who have held the affairs in running the policing of this country severally, and you'll be amazed at what implements. Some of the mobile policemen, I don't know now, for some years back, they had not even gone for training, the normal, regular training. And you deploy these people to fight crime in this age and time. Technology is the in thing. Look, the truth of the matter is there are vehicles that could be stationed on the road, and they will do all the necessary information gathering, security information gathering, without you moving out or anybody. Yet they are communicated adequately to the various posts. Why do we still do the things we do the way we do them when the world has moved? It baffles me sometimes. Now, sometimes you now look at the resources, they say it's inadequate. When are you ever going to have adequate resources, even in our various homes? It's all a matter of choice, opportunity cost. So if we are serious about it and passionate about security, we'll overlook the political side to it. We'll come down to the tables and ask the security chiefs, how do we move from point A to point B? Like he said, if you deal with the security arm, you also have to deal with social, economic situation, yes, because they are not in isolation. These things work hand in hand. If you have so much rate of unemployment, the way we are experiencing, every year we turn out several thousands of graduates without any hope and future. We are all the time breeding ready
potential,
2 years
potential
in the hands of people who have
criminals.
terrible minds. If it keeps going on, government must always make sure that it meets at least the needs of its citizenry at some point. You can't provide everything, you can't do everything. You will still have those who are agitated and grunt. But then, if you have done at least substantially, you have reduced the capacity for this explosion we are experiencing.
Wow. Okay, so do you think the state police creation is going to disintegrate this unitary system of government? You know, because a lot of people have been saying very soon Nigeria is going to disintegrate, you know, very soon. They're very pessimistic, you know, to that line. Do you think instituting this, because even the National Assembly, they've actually agreed to add to their constitution review this matter of state police creation. So do you think that it's going to further disintegrate the country, Nigeria, when it's instituted?
Well, I think the challenge we are having, as I said earlier on, it's not the state police that is the issue. It's change of attitude that's the issue. The same police that we have today provide sufficient facilities or equipment. Give them incentives. Go and see police quarters. It's a shambles. Somebody that will, most of them will not be able to sleep there and wake up healthy and very strong to go to work because the environment is dirty. They have, they are exposed to medical challenges, medical hazards. If you go into their, I had the privilege, I can say, of visiting one of the places. It's an ISO. So an individual that stays in such environment, do you think he will think straight? He can't think straight because he'll be fighting with mosquitoes. When it's raining, they have to stand because the roof is leaking. He has. He will find it difficult to sleep at night. And in the morning, you send him to go and guard the bank. He will sleep on duty. He will refuse to sleep in the day, must sleep in the night. So to some extent, these are things that affect their services. It's not that they are not good. The same policeman. Okay, let me give you a scenario. If you pick a civil servant, just a normal, average civil servant, he goes to work late, to some extent, close at will. Spend 2 or 3 hours for breakfast, break time. Or, you know, at the end of the day, you just put in maybe 2 to 3 hours throughout the 8 hours. Take the same person, put him in the corporate environment. Okay, let's take him, give him a bank appointment. The same graduate, he will leave his house 5 a.m. He resumes 7. Will not go for a break until maybe 1. And he spent maybe 30 minutes or 1 hour. And back. He's back. He doesn't leave the office until 5. If he is sick, the moment he discovers that he has the symptoms, he rushes for treatment. But if he's working in the public sector, in short, that symptoms will just become sickness for the next 1 week. Because of our attitude.
Monitoring system also.
No, it's just our attitude. So the same thing happens to the police. Take Nigerian police that are here, take them to US or any other city in the world. Give them good accommodation, attach an operation vehicle, neat operation vehicle with the gadgets to them. They will perform excellent. So it's not about state creation. All that happens to the local government system. The local government are dead.
And they're even crying for more allocation.
Of the local government.
Yeah.
So what I'm saying, just like food for the boys. As far as I'm concerned, the issue is not about creating state police. Most of the state systems now, they have created vigilante groups and all that. Are these vigilante groups well enumerated? Are they functioning well? If those vigilante groups are well trained to some extent by the states, they will function very well. Because I so much believe in the vigilante group than creating state police.
But then they will also have their restrictions when the police system is there.
Yes, the vigilante group
they collaborate.
Are locals.
It's supposed to be feeding.
And they know each and everyone in that community. But the moment you remove them from that locality and give them a name, you rebrand them, you have changed their perspective. They were looking for money. on the road, on the streets. But at that level, their local level, give them incentive. Okay, each community, you must establish vigilante group. Let's say in this local government, we have 10 communities, or we can demarcate them. Like for instance, in Lagos, we may decide to say, okay, from Ikeja to Maryland, it's one community. Aja, Lekki, Aziz, Ekpe, one community. They form security operating within themselves. And each of the community within that area, people are handpicked, those who have interest. Believe you me, the rate of crime will go down.
Thank you.
Because the moment you have a stranger within the community, you know.
No.
Yes, of course.
The moment you see a new face, I have seen one person in those days. There is no way a new person, a stranger will get to your environment, and the head of that community will not know. The moment they see a new person in the community, they will report that we have seen a new person that has lodged in Mr. ABCD's house, and he has been there for the past 2 days. They will call the owner of the house. We have discovered that somebody has come to stay in your house. Who is this person? You have to bring him for proper accounting and all that. That's what we're talking about. So if these systems, these values will be rebuilt back through this community enhanced support system, I believe it will work better. Just give them a token. The leaders of the community, that's the emirs, the chiefs, the bales,
Yes.
they have been paid. And initially, one of their major responsibility is to govern, to lead the people. And security is part of it. So most of the bales now, the office has been politicalized. Most of them don't even know how many people live in their territory. They don't even know how many people are in their domain. So it's not just about clamoring for state policing. No. Let those values be rebuilt back. Bring in the traditional rulers. Each family have a head. Each community have traditional rulers, ruler. Each of the communities. Bring these people and get them involved. There is no way they have heads. They will get these people involved. Whenever you see a visitor or a new house is being constructed, find out who is constructing the house. Find out who are the new tenants. That will help us. But clamoring for state police and all that.
That's not the issue.
That's not the issue.
All right, thank you so much. So please just give, because we're already out of time, just give us a little tip. What do you think do we need dialogue in this Boko Haram issue, or what exactly can we, just in simple lines there?
I believe in dialogue.
Okay.
To the extent that I know who I'm dialoguing with. You will also understand if you don't have specific people that you are dealing with in situations like we are having right now, it will be difficult to dialogue because there must be something you put on the table.
Of course.
This is the basis for our dialogue. Otherwise, it becomes an issue of blackmail. We have seen it in the past. Sometimes we want to look at the Niger Delta situation that we have just had, but then you knew that there were specific leaders you could pick. Now we begin to get, until recently when the U.S. named 3 key people.
Since we know them
yes,
now,
we did.
Yes,
so we didn't know who was the face of Boko Haram. If the federal government, in its infinite wisdom, feels that the situation at hand warrants dialogue, why not?
Sure. We can, of course, we can face dialogue. All right, thank you so much. I've had a very wonderful time on the show, and I hope you have also had a wonderful time. You can reach us on agenda at loveworldplusnews.net. That is our email. And we've been talking about state police, true federalism, and Nigeria's terrorism challenge. I got a keyword from Mr. Bibino. He said we shouldn't export what we do not have and import what we have. It's not about the system, it's about the leadership, it's about the orientation of our mindset and our passion for redefining patriotism in our country, Nigeria. My name is Philip Ihaza. We'll join you same time next week for another exciting episode of The Agenda. Until then, have a splendid week ahead.